Contralateral tilt. We see so many different things about how guys should be in different positions of contralateral tilt. This video is going to explain that to you guys, where you should be, things to look out for, and what we recommend. First question is, what is contralateral tilt? Contralateral tilt basically refers to how much tilt you have towards your glove side. It's not really a great term, but it's glove side bending at the end of your throw or right around release point. Now, somebody that has less will be more of a lateral sidearm release, where somebody that has more is going to be more over the top. Think of a Roldis Chapman compared to maybe a Nolan Ryan, who's a little bit more lateral with his release point. The reason it's important is your core muscles are at play here, and as you bend to the side, you can either lengthen them to an excessive degree or shorten them to an excessive degree on this side here. All of us are going to throw with a different angle. We're going to go through two drills right now that's going to show you the best angle for you. So the first one is a forward flexed position. The reason we like this one is it takes out that early lumbar extension moment that we often see. So let's go for it like you're in the glove, almost like hands together. He's flexed forward. The idea is he's going to stay at that hinged angle as he starts to move towards the target. Dom is going to be a much more lateral release point than I am. When I do that same drill, I'll end up a little bit more side bent here, whereas he's a little bit more here. That's okay. You want to be between 0 and 30 degrees or 5 and 25 degrees, depending on the research that you look at. Above that, you see shoulder and elbow torques go way up. So go into that drill again for me here, Dom. So we're forward flexed. He tries to maintain a low position, not by bending his knees into a valgus collapse position or whatever else, but by staying hinged through his hips. That's going to help you to, first of all, find a good position where you should actually have your release point, because it takes out any compensation through lumbar extension or lack of hip strength and lack of hip flexion that occurs early in the throw for people that have weak glutes and weak core. So that should give you an indication. The next drill we're going to see is actually how you get into that as you move towards a target, either as a position player or as a pitcher. If you're looking for the most comprehensive resource on training and rehabilitation of the throwing athlete, check out my book, Arm Alloy. The link is in the description. Now, back to the video. So on the second drill, he's going to load into his hip as he goes forward. That basically takes him into that rotatory hinge position that we like to see as athletes progress towards the target. So let's see that here, Dom. We start in this position because right away, when people lift their leg, they often compensate by leaning back. If they don't have enough glute strength or whatever the case may be, we take out those compensatory patterns and we put them where he wants by initiating with the right motion. If you initiate with the right motion, you'll probably move through the right pathway as you move forward. So it's a hinge and rotation as he moves towards the target. Now, if it looks different between drill 1 and 2 and you film them and you watch them on your iPhone or whatever, and they're different between those two drills, what does that tell you? That tells you either compensated on the drill, you've got a weak core, weak glutes. We see that all the time, all the way up through all levels of baseball ranks, but we see it especially in our high school age kids, our middle school youth kids, and a lot of times in our college kids where they can't maintain a neutral spine posture, and so they end up extending through their lumbar spine, which lends to left side bending at the end of the throw. So you've got two drills here. And then the question is, how much is right for me? Well, film them from behind, see your angle, and then see if that's what you do when you actually throw from the mound. And that's one of the first ways that we can do it. The second thing we can think about here as we get into these different positions is what happens if I move beyond that? We know that the shoulder torques go up. There's, and anybody that tries to debate that, they don't have a leg to stand on. The shoulder and the elbow torques go up as you deviate out and around because the ball gets farther away from your center of rotation earlier, and you're pulling yourself. You've got the ball moving out and around this way, your body moving out and around the other way, so you've got things pulling away from each other. That's a huge biceps load. That's a huge elbow torque. If you extend the elbow too early, that lengthens the lever arm at the shoulder. But then you got to think about, what about my inner balance systems? As my head deviates quickly to the side as I side bend, doesn't that disrupt my balance system? with visual acuity towards a target? Absolutely. We have an inner ear system called the vestibular system. It moves directly to the cerebellum and directly down into the spinal cord. There's 2 tracks there that end up orienting me in 3-dimensional space pretty rapidly. So if I do that, that's going to throw off my balance for future repetitions. So we've got competing systems, visual, inner ear, and then I got to think, well, there's more moving parts. I have less control, so there's more degrees of freedom. The more things that are moving, the more things I have to control, the harder it is to complete. So deviating too far to the glove side in an attempt to gain velocity is really not a good strategy. Rather, get strong in your core, learn to rotate through your pelvis and your hip better, and you'll be in a better position. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. Happy to discuss with anyone. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to check out our website, overheadathletics.com. We got a free arm care program on there, as well as some throwing programs and progressions to return back to sport. We'll see you guys in the next one.